In this video, I'm going to show you a sneaky way to attack someone's neck using a Kata Gatame from the turtle position. So my partner's down here in turtle. I start on the side. I'm going to use this same thigh pry to open Max's knee and stomp my right foot in. Once I have the right hook in, my left leg post, I'm looking to punch a seatbelt. I'd like nothing more than to get here. But Max is going to do a good job at hiding his neck, and I feel like I just can't get this hand to the inside. In this case, we're going to go over. And what I'm looking to do is connect my hands for a Kata Gatame. Okay? The submission itself is going to look like this. I come over, I start to sit. As I reach through, I sit everything down. And now from my side, I get a strong finish on a Kata Gatame or a head and arm choke. How do I set this up? Well, first thing that's important to note, this is going to be very different from an arm and guillotine. This is not an arm and guillotine. It's a head and arm choke or a Kata Gatame. The main difference being on a Kata Gatame, Max's arm is across his neck. In an arm and guillotine, Max's arm would be around my hip. So a lot of people mess this up because when they sit, they think they're doing an arm and guillotine. In an arm and guillotine, we lift. That's not my finishing mechanics here. What I need is for my right arm to be very deep around Max's neck. How I do this, from the hook in, I start reaching over, and what I want to do is put my right hand back here by Max's right hip. Okay, so I'm going to rotate Max just so you guys can see the initial point. As I reach through, look how deep this hand goes. Obviously, I'm not going to be sitting like this yet, but this hand reaches through. I make a fist with this hand, and my left hand covers. This is where I start to make the grip. And the reason for that is it allows for my elbow to get deeper, closer towards Max's neck here. I don't want my hand to be here, where now my elbow, if you can see this, rotate, my elbow is very shallow here. As I reach to his hip, look how deep my elbow gets. And now, probably the biggest key to this choke, my lat is going to crunch Max's head down and in. The whole purpose of me sliding is to slide my lat, boom, here. Like I'm zip tying his head and then pushing it down. So, as I reach to Max's hip, look how I make my fist and watch how I'm going to slide. Pay attention to my lat here, guys. 1. That's what crunches his head. Now, my hands have moved up because of my lat zip tying. I have a strong connection, and I either make a figure 4 or, actually I'm going to rotate you here, or a lockdown with my foot shoelaces to shoelaces. The finishing mechanics on this are me moving my head away from Max as I punch my hips in. So the mechanics look like this. My head moves away, my hips move in, and I get a strong finish on my Kata Gatame. Again, those mechanics are explained by my lat crunching his head down. As my head moves away, my lat's pushing his head down. As my hips move in, my hips are pushing his arm across his body. Thus, he's getting strangled. So, from the beginning, we're here. I open, I stomp my hooks. Max is doing a good job at hiding his neck, so I can't get the seatbelt on. I go over. As I reach toward the hip, look how I turn this corner, and my lat takes all the space away. If your partner feels like they're not being choked here, it's likely that your lat has not crunched his head. So as I rotate, I make sure that I slide, keeping full connection here. Once I get my lat over his head, I figure 4, and now my hips come in, my head comes away, and I get a very strong finish, a strong strangle on my Kata Gatame from the back. Guys, if you like this video and you want to see my favorite way to attack the turtle, the complete guide, everything I have, making a seatbelt grip, stomping hooks in, how to be confident taking the back, and then my favorite back attacks as well, you can click right here. If you want access to our free website where you can see a bunch of different videos on Jiu-Jitsu, you get it completely free, no credit card required. You can click